Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome along to another episode of Silver Fox Travels. As you can see, I'm on the Cub again, and I'm just taking it out for a little bit of a, what we might call a shakedown ride out. Now if you wonder what I mean by that, I'll explain it in a little bit more detail. You might remember a little while ago I got hold of a set of relays from Hitchcock's and swapped them over, having thoroughly cleaned them out first. The old relays were absolutely covered in the white grease, and I made a particularly strong effort to get rid of all that white grease. But having seen a few other messages here and there, that white grease can hang around a lot longer than you think. So I thought I'd check it out, and I found that the Hitchcock's ones, although a lot cleaner, still had quite a dollop of white grease on them, so there must have been a bit of residue still in the bottom of the connectors. So what did I do? Well, I popped out to the shops and I got myself a can of WD-40 contact cleaner, electrical contact cleaner, and liberally sprayed it, used dental brushes to clean it, and Q-tips, tissues, and anything else I could get my hands on to get all the gunk out. And I must say they were looking really clean. I couldn't see any more of the stuff anywhere in the connectors, so hopefully I've got rid of that, and hopefully any problems that might be causing have been washed away. So this is just a little shakedown ride. I'm going to go up to the Route 59 cafe, I think, if they're still open when I get there, and see how she performs. Now I don't think the relays issues would have been the cause of the jumping out of gear. I have a feeling that's probably something else. Quite what, I don't know. So maybe, touch wood, that problem is hopefully a thing of the past. Although I never did get to the bottom of it. One thing I am doing is making sure I make really positive gear changes. I'm doing everything short of taking a run at it as though I'm taking a penalty at Wembley. But I am making sure it definitely goes into gear. One thought that occurred to me, of course, when it was happening, after it was happening actually, or after it happened the last time, should I say, was that could it be heat related? Could it be that I'd been out on the bike for so long that it had got hot, and I don't know, some issue with the clutch, and it popped out of gear? That's just speculation. I've no idea if that's the case. And as for it being a known problem, nobody has ever come back to me on that. It was hinted at a little while ago, but I've had no further updates on that, or no comments or anything of the sort. So I can only assume that that was a one-off. I hope it was anyway, and that I'm now beyond that problem. Going to go down into Otley and out the other side. Otley here is a lovely little market town with lots of nice little pubs here and there. Perfect for a stop on the way up to the Dales. Or on the way back even. Now, one thing I did, which I thought I'd never get round to doing, is I had a test ride on the new 650 Super Meteor, or Super Meteor 650, whichever way around you want to call it. And it was really very interesting bike to ride. It had lots of power, lots of torque. It had a very nice layout on the speedo binnacle. You had a gear shift indicator, gear position indicator, and petrol and trips and all that kind of stuff. Very, very smart, very modern. But I have to say, I was rather disappointed with it, which I wasn't expecting at all. Now, you know I like cruisers. I like the cruiser style motorcycle. I like the feet forward position and the slightly higher handlebars, that sort of thing. I like that kind of a bike. I do enjoy it. That's what my Honda VT is. The VT 750 is exactly that style. Now, what I found was that the feet forward position was a little too feet forward, if you know what I mean. It was perhaps maybe 2 or 3 inches more than it should have been to be comfortable for me. Now, this is for me and my frame. I mean, I'm what, 5'6.5", 5'7" on a good day. 29-inch inseam. So yeah, so for me, I found the feet forward position just a bit of a stretch. What I also didn't like was that the gear shifter, the actual part that you put your boot underneath, was striking right on the cuticle of my big toe, which, if you've ever dropped anything on that part of your big toe, you know just how painful that can be. And what I found I was doing, I was having to move my foot around in order to get a comfortable position in order to change gear, which didn't make for an easier ride. I had it for about an hour or so, so I had plenty of time on it. So yeah, I wasn't too struck on the feet forward position. And again, for me, I'm saying this is just purely my experience on the bike. Others will have had lots of different ideas. But I found that the handlebars would have been better if they'd have had an extra 1.5 to 2 inches in the riser, all of which can be got as an optional extra. You can buy extra high risers for it. But yeah, I found that the handlebars, because of the feet forward position and the lower handlebars, I found I was having to lean forward into it. And after about an hour, I was developing a bit of a backache, which is not expected. I thought it was going to be a lot more comfortable than that. And the seat height, of course, for my short legs, the seat height could do with being, I don't know, a couple of inches lower. but that again is an aftermarket thing that I would have to try and find. Another thing I found rather odd is that if I wanted to get one, my particular desire would have been to have it with a windshield, the backrest and the saddlebags, just like the Celestial red, you know, the red one, like they had at the NEC. If I wanted all of that, I would have to wait, because they didn't have any in stock, and they didn't know how long it would be before they did have any in stock. Apparently there's a bit of a log jam of orders, and not very many bikes turning up to fill those orders. So I wasn't very impressed by that either. The actual colour that I wanted was the black and silver, which I really liked the look of, and I thought it would go well with, you know, sat next to the Fox. Because I'll be honest with you, I was thinking about trading this in for the 650, and had they have had what I wanted, I might well have gone for it, except for these issues with the comfort. I found it not particularly comfortable at all. After about an hour I was pretty much ready to get off. Now all these things, I'm told, can be alleviated. It was suggested that if I was to drop the gear lever one notch on the spine, that would, on the spline, sorry, that would bring it a bit further back on top of my boot. But I'm not so sure about that. And I was told that bar risers can be obtained from Hitchcock's, which is, yeah, true. You can get them from Hitchcock's, and the saddlebags also presumably from Hitchcock's, but not you know, not direct on order. So really, although the bike would have been nice, because of those issues, I'm afraid I'm going to have to pass on that one. Nice to look at, nice to ride for half an hour or so, an hour for me, but other than that, no, I think I'll stick with a Cub. Now, talking about the Cub, you may wonder what's going to happen to it now that I've decided I'm going to hang on to it a bit longer. Now the issue regards the paintwork, not the paintwork, the lower legs on the front forks. Supposed to be a warranty claim. I took it to Appleyards in Keighley. They said nothing doing. Pretty much, you know, forget it, they're not going to do anything about it. It was on the cusp of changing from MotoGP to Royal Enfield themselves, so it really wasn't worth the paper chase in order to try and get it sorted. So what I've decided to do is, as far as the warranty is concerned, forget it. The warranty, if the engine dies on me completely, then fine, I'll get it sorted under the warranty in the 3 years that it's valid. Unless of course they try and worm the way out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on to the old girl. Interesting little traffic jam here. Yeah, I'm going to hang on to the Cub, and my plan will be to correct the paintwork issues on my own. So the finish on the lower legs, I'm either going to have them painted black, gloss black, or powder coated gloss black, one or the other. I'll monitor the situation regarding the gears. If that goes again, then I may well just take it in and leave it with them and just say, right, I don't want it back until you've sorted it, and see what they say. But as I say, the warranty, well, is it worth the paper it's written on? Does beg the question, doesn't it? Right, so how is she riding up to now? Well, I've been up and down the gearbox umpteen times now, and so far so good. Touch wood, not a problem. Everything seems to be changing gear up and down, smooth as silk. So we'll see how we go on. Now we're just coming into Ilkley now. Got the river wharf on my left hand side. And we should be at the Route 59 calf in the next, what, half an hour? Something like that. I've been watching quite a few of the YouTube videos that I subscribe to, and been quite enjoying them as well. Noticed that James, Sainsworth rider, he's completed a tour of the Peak District. Go down to the Cat and Fiddle and Strine and various other places. Look to have had a really good time. Then there was Lane's Explorer. That was really good fun watching him trying to find all these little hamlets and getting thoroughly lost in the process. Going up one street, turning around, coming back, up another little lane. No, not that one. Turn round, go back, and there he was. Eventually, more by luck than judgment, but he got to where he was going, and it was an absolutely brilliant ride to watch. I suppose it just goes to confirm really that we never really get lost. We're just exploring alternative routes. That's one way of putting it anyway. Derek of Solo Moto UK, he's been taking his loaner, the Suzuki 650, off-roading and having a really good time about it. He really did sound as though he was having an absolute ball. The all-year motorcyclist, of course, he completed his Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, him and Mrs. Tame, and between them raised quite a lot of money. I don't remember the exact figure at the moment, but I was rather impressed when I heard how much he'd raised, so well done to those two. Congratulations for doing it, and you both look very, very smart. He was saying in his video this morning that the Classic 350, otherwise known as Paddington, has been sold to a policeman from, I think he said from Paddington, and that particular policeman knows the wife, I think that's what he said, the wife of the chap who wrote Paddington. So he's going to take the bike to her and introduce her to it and see what she has to say. I bet she'll be impressed. This is Addingham. Actually, it's quite a coincidence I'll tell you about. A couple of weeks ago I was in Scotland with my good lady wife. We were having just a weekend away, bit of a break, and we happened to visit Bamburgh Castle. A very, very impressive pile it is too. Whilst we were there, we were exploring the castle and the grounds, and as we were slowly making our way back to the car, there was a chap standing next to the car park hut. At first I thought he was the car park attendant, and I said to him, you know, as a car park attendant, this must be an absolutely brilliant view every day, because it literally looked out over the bay. You had the sea right in front of you. If you worked there, you'd have that all day long. It would have been absolutely brilliant. Turned out actually he wasn't the car park attendant, he was just standing there waiting for his wife to turn up. Anyway, we got chatting anyway, and it turned out he was from I think he said Virginia in America, where he said it was very, very hot and very, very humid at the moment. But yes, indeed, that was a beautiful view, and whoever worked in that little kiosk would be blessed having to look at that every day. And as we chatted, he said, I asked him where was he from, and he told me he was from Virginia, but he'd long since moved to England and was living with his wife in Yorkshire. So I said, oh well, that's a good point, I thought. And whereabouts in Yorkshire, I said. He said, well, just outside Leeds. I said, well, I know Leeds, I'm from Leeds. He said, well, it's not actually in Leeds. He said, it's a little village not too far away from Leeds. You might know it. It's called Addingham. I definitely do know it. I said, I've ridden through it several times on my way up to the Route 59 cafe on my bike. I said, oh well, that's a coincidence. He said he'd look out for me if ever he was in his garden, but I've not seen him since. I doubt I ever will, but quite interesting to chat to the chap. If you do see this, I don't suppose you ever will, but if you do see this, hi, I'm that fella who talked to you at Bamburgh. So here we are at the Route 59 cafe. Let's go get a cold drink. Would you believe it? I only had a bottle of water there. It was far too hot for tea and cake. My God, what's the world coming to? Just chatting there to a chap who just coming down from Scotland. He said he's had a really nice ride round there, and he's only had to come back now because he has to go to work. Work does get in the way. Look at this, everybody. This is Yorkshire, or part of it anyway. A very small part of it. Just outside Skipton. Beautiful countryside. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I've had a bit of fun riding, and it's been a lovely day to do it in. So far so good on the Cub. She's behaved herself all the way, and long may that continue. So I'm going to sign off in the usual way by saying look after yourselves, look after the people around you, and of course until next time, bye for now.